mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children
Hello all, and welcome to this. And this video is one that I've been thinking about making for a while, so I finally decided to make it. I've been asked this question about a million times, I think. Not really a million, but a lot. I've been asked this question more than any other question I've ever been asked, which is, where do I recommend people buy wrestling stuff? Wrestling merchandise, wrestling DVDs. For the most part, it's wrestling DVDs, but I'm going to include merchandise. So this video is about that, about where I recommend, what I recommend people do. For the most part, people always want to know where online you can buy stuff, but to be completely honest, I don't recommend buying all that much stuff online, because if you buy anything online, or if you have before and you're savvy about it, which hopefully most of you are, you realize you're going to have to pay those nice shipping and handling charges. And shipping and handling charges suck because often it erases whatever you saved not buying it elsewhere. So, first three places I'm going to mention are not online stores, just regular stores. The first, and this is for WWE merchandise only, because they don't carry, I believe they've only ever carried 3 TNA products ever, and I believe they have one of them now, which is Walmart. And the only thing from TNA that they've ever carried was they carried one gift pack that you could only get online. They then carried, of course, the 50 Greatest Moments. I believe now, I might be wrong on this, but I think they carry Year 1. Those are it. Those are only 3. And they may not even carry that in Year 1, but I'm pretty sure I remember seeing Year 1 at Walmart. I know a lot of people don't like shopping at Walmart, but they do sell WWE DVDs as cheap, maybe even cheaper than anybody else, save one place, and I will mention that one place later. Particularly the new stuff, especially the new stuff. They sell the new stuff fairly cheap, so that's first place. Second place is Best Buy. Best Buy has a much better selection, usually has about the same prices as Walmart. And they have a much better selection because they also have TNA stuff. They also carry a wide variety of wrestling organizations and the mass-released wrestling DVDs. And the third place, and this might not be a place that many people know of, but this is a national chain. They don't have a lot of stores around the country though, but if you happen to live near one, Fry's Electronics. Fry's Electronics has an even bigger selection of wrestling merchandise than even Best Buy does, and they usually sell it for cheaper. So, those 3, because, as I said, you always have to remember shipping and handling. That way you don't have to play shipping and handling, and I'm sure some people go, oh, but what about gas and all this? I'm just saying, without not shipping and handling, that's it. So, let's get started with the online stores. First place, and this will be no surprise to many, will be ROHWrestling.com, their shop. I know a lot of people are saying I'm just pimping Ring of Honor, but no, I really do feel this is probably one of the best places to get wrestling merchandise, particularly DVDs on the internet. And here's why. Particularly the TNA and WWE DVDs, they sell as cheap as anybody, and you can find them when they run their sales. Particularly, they usually run like a 20% off, sometimes 25% off. Of course, Black Friday, they got 35% off. Probably won't see that again until maybe Christmas Eve. You might see that again, but they do run very good sales, which usually negate the shipping and handling charges. Shipping and handling charges are kind of a pain, and particularly since they run percentage sales usually on the non-ROH stuff. And they also have indie stuff. They also have stuff from Noah. They have a wide variety of stuff. They have books and all sorts of stuff. You definitely should check out their page and just see what all they have. As I was saying, their shipping and handling charge was not as bad as some, TNA for example, but I will talk about TNA's site here in a minute. But very good, usually very cheap. I've never had problems with getting my stuff when I've ordered from there, and I would recommend that to anybody because they do have TNA and WWE stuff for as cheap as just about anywhere, and then you get the percentage off. They do every once in a while, every crate once in a while, run a free shipping and handling sale. Not too much, but every once in a while they do. So keep that in mind. And also, whenever you go to any of these sites, first thing you should do is see how much they charge for shipping and handling, because that does matter. The next places I would recommend are these 2 sites. Amazon.com, which most people know of, Problem with I have with them is they don't usually give you any breaks on shipping and handling, and usually they don't run too many actual sales on the DVDs, and you can often find the DVDs actually cheaper elsewhere. The other place is Overstock.com. Same thing. Overstock though is probably the cheapest place for shipping and handling, so that's those two places I would recommend as well. Amazon I would recommend, both sites I would recommend for older DVDs that are harder to find. Overstock usually has some older stuff. Amazon, you can actually buy used stuff from their DVD from their site, much like Amazon, and I think it's a little better than Amazon because you can just right-click and get it, and it's usually pretty good prices. Next site I would recommend to go to is iSpots, iSpots.com. iSpots.com has the most stuff of anybody, and I mean anybody. They don't run very many sales though. That's my only gripe with iSpots, but they do have just about everything you could ever want. The prices are pretty good as well. Shipping and handling isn't too bad. Literally, if you've never been to that site, you can spend hours and hours just going through that site and looking at stuff. It's amazing. They have Japanese stuff, they have indie stuff, they have old WWF stuff, they even have some old WWF DVDs that have been repackaged and redone so that the stuff that need to be blurred. But they have TNA stuff. They have just about everything you could want. Definitely go check that out. Then we have TNA.com. Then we have TNA Shop, and TNA does not have a very good website as far as the online thing goes. As far as the online buying goes, because their DVDs on their site are more expensive than anywhere else you'll ever find. You have the shipping and handling, which they do kind of is expensive, and also the only thing I would recommend their site for is Don West Deal of the Day, and they do that every Friday, so you can just go on there, see if they've changed anything Friday. That's pretty much the only thing I would recommend, unless you're going to get shirts or something like that, which they do. It's pretty much the only place you can buy that stuff. But everything else you can find cheaper elsewhere. So there you go. Then we come to as far as indie wrestling goes, and this is where I would recommend. And if you've watched any of Oliver Scott's videos, you've often heard him talk about this place. It is smartmarkvideo.com. They have nearly every indie you can imagine. They don't run many sales, unfortunately. They do run some sales, but and when they do run sales, it's a good time to get their stuff. I've never gotten anything from them myself, so I can't really comment on that. But they do have a very good reputation. And another place I would recommend, particularly if you want to check out IWA Mid-South or Chikara or any other major. Just about every major indie runs there. And also back on the iSpots. iSpots is also the best place to get pro wrestling guerrilla stuff. Bar none, best place to get it. Okay, now we come to the last site I'm going to talk about, which is probably the best site, which is kind of funny because they only sell one thing, and you probably know where I'm going with this, and that is WWE Shop Zone. It amazes me how good this site is. This is one of the best retail sites I've ever been to, simply because of the stuff that they sell, the prices. They usually sell their own stuff cheaper than anywhere else. If it's not cheaper, there's usually, you get a free t-shirt or action figure or something else to go along with it. Shipping and handling isn't too bad. They often do run free shipping and handling. Right now, for example, and this will give you an example of why you have to be kind of careful on your site, is the only thing, is they'll run multiple sales. You have to figure out which sale is actually better for you. Right now, for example, they have a 10% off or free shipping, or they have a 20% off flat off. Well, you have to spend $75 to get either sale. Okay. If you just spend just about $75, it's cheaper to get the 10% off and the free shipping. If you spend more, probably about the $100 range, it's cheaper to get the 20% off. So you got to keep that in mind when you go to their site. They also sell, like, if you spend $50, you'll get a free DVD. If they give free DVDs away, all sorts of stuff. So the best place for t-shirts, the best place for just deals in general. I mean, they sell stuff on there just ridiculously, just good deals on WWE stuff. It's pretty amazing. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's WWE. Trust me, if you go on that, one thing WWE does better than anyone else is their DVDs and is their merchandise. And it pretty much is the best place to get their merchandise. And it is amazing. I'm also into movies and other things. There's not a company-owned site better than this, in my opinion. So there you go. Those are my recommendations. I'm sure everyone else who comments will give their recommendations as well. I'm out. Talk to you later.